Google Dsc Mescoe. I am Hritvikk Gupta, one of the technical course, and I will be your host for this bootcamp. In this bootcamp, we'll teach you the basics of web dev, that is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. We are going to build a portfolio website whose structure will be laid in HTML. Then we'll add CSS to it today itself, and and then tomorrow we'll work on the JavaScript part. In case you were not able to comprehend any of the technical terms I just spoke, don't worry, we are going to teach you everything from the basics. Also, after this bootcamp, we'll have a 2-day long hackathon based on the things you learned in this bootcamp. Details of this hackathon will be shared tomorrow, and of course, winners of the hackathon will be rewarded with exciting gifts and swags. Having said that, can you all name some popular websites that you find attractive as well as user-friendly, and some websites you think that should definitely be improved? Please put your answers in the chat box. That is right, Prince. They definitely need improvement. Right, SPPU website is not that good. Anyway, great response, guys. So let's begin with the web dev journey. My friend Param will now teach you HTML and its basics.
Am I audible, Hritvikk?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, hello everyone. My name is Param Tatiya, a technical core at Gdsc Mescoe. So, let's begin with today's session. The agenda of today's session will be what is HTML, followed by the HTML tags. Then I will brief you about the HTML source code and some tips about writing a readable code, and the most important hands-on project, that is the portfolio website. After the HTML session, we will begin with the CSS, about what is CSS, how it works, and responsive CSS. So let's begin with the HTML. I will start by asking a simple question in the chat. Is HTML a programming language? Just type yes or no in the chat box.
Param, is your YouTube started in background?
No, I guess. No, it's just one slide.
Yeah, okay, right, it's my bad. Go ahead, go ahead.
Great response, and the answers are also correct. So I can tell that most of you people know HTML. So we will begin. As said in the chat box, yes, HTML is a markup language and not a programming language. So what's the difference between a programming language and a markup language? So markup languages can be what we can say can be read is easy to read and can be understood by both user and the computer, while for the programming language we have a set of syntax that we code and then computer understand it by converting into machine language. So as markup languages are easy to learn, it contains no complicated programming and they are interpreted by the browser itself. So we do not need some extra interpreter for it. Okay. Next. So what is the HTML tags or the syntax? So as you know, all languages contain some syntax. HTML also contains the same syntax and they are called as tags. So the tags can be written as the start, that is the opening tag, the middle, that is the content, and the end, that is the closing tag. The second type of tag that HTML contains are the block tags. So an example of the opening and closing tag is a paragraph tag that we can write as P. So this is a paragraph tag, that is the content, and the closing tag, that is also /P. And the example of the block tag can be given as the image tag, that is used to add some images in the browser. So from the above, you can see that the tag names are related to their purpose, right? So the title tag can be used to add some titles. The H1 tag, that is the heading tag from H1 to H6 can be used to add some headings. And the A tag can be used to add some anchor tag or links to your browser. So these are some of the popular tags and the syntax. Now I will tell you about what is the HTML source code. For that, I will go through a simple website. So this is a W3 school website. Most of the you will know. So just right click on any website and click on view page source. When you click on view page source, the HTML, CSS and JS of the whole website will be visible in front of you. So through this, we can view the any HTML source code of any website in this whole world. Now the question arises, can we copy this code? Yes, you can definitely copy this code, but it's not a very healthy practice for a developer. So you should understand this. The source code are used to just correct where you are wrong and to check whether how the website is well developed or not. Okay. Next is how to write a readable code. So these are the 4 key points. The first is to add attributes to the tags. Now, what are attributes? Attributes just tell us some more information about that respective tags that we have used in the HTML. Then, second point, always use right tag at right place. That when you have to write a paragraph, you should always use a P tag, not the heading tag, right? It's basic. Next, properly start and end your tag with proper details. As you have seen, some tags are block tags and some are the opening and closing type. So you should know which are which type and use them properly in your HTML file. And next is properly use the tab space wherever necessary to look a more cleaner code than a more what we can say smash or mashed up code, right? So these are the 4 key points to write your readable code. Now let's dive into your hands-on project, that your portfolio. So it will be a great idea that you should follow along with me. Okay, so just open up your editor, any editor, but I will recommend VS Code. You can also open Sublime, Atom, Bracket, Notepad, anything is fine, but I recommend VS Code. So when in the VS Code, create a new workspace for your portfolio and click on new file as mentioned here. In the new file, type the name index.html. Always remember the first HTML file should always be named index.html. It's a very healthy practice. Then the first line of your HTML code should be specifying the version of your HTML. So write exclamatory doc type, that is the documentation type, HTML. Currently we all use HTML5, which is the latest version. So simply write HTML. Next, this is followed by our first HTML tag, that is the HTML tag itself. So this is an opening and closing tag. In the middle will be the content. Next, the HTML tag is divided into 2 main parts. That is the head tag and the body tag. The head tag contains the metadata or the information that we give to the browser. And the body tag contains our original code that is displayed on the browser. Okay. So in the head tag, start by writing meta, press tab key, and as you can see, it is a block tag. In the meta tag, add some attributes. The first attribute will be the char set, that is the UTF-8. Now what is this UTF-8? It should be in brackets. So what is this UTF-8? It is a simple encoder that will convert your file into the machine language that the browser will understand. The next metadata will be specifying the view or the visual part that you will be see as a user. So it is the viewport followed by what is the width, what will be the width of this viewport. So width, the device width itself. Next will be the initial scale of this width, that will be 1. So as you can see, this is a lot and we don't know what are the other meta types. So a simple solution for this is just delete it, type exclamatory mark and press the tab key on your keyboard. This will automatically load all the metadata that is required for your browser and all the initial tags that will help you for your further coding. Are you following along? Just type yes or no in the chat box. Great. So after doing this, just save your file and right click on your index.html and click on open with live server. When you do this, your HTML file will be deployed in your browser through a local host. Okay. If some of you get this error, you should try creating a workspace first and then click on open with live server. Now we will start with your actual coding. Before coding, every HTML or every developer should understand how his website or his or her website should look like. So we create a simple diagram that is called as the wireframe. A wireframe will be a simple representation of your website. So this will be our home page. In home page, on the left hand side will be your name. This is your nav bar. Nav bar contains 4 links that are home, about me, certificates and contact me. In the home page, in your left hand side will contain some info about yourself and on the right hand side will be the image. Now this will give a brief idea how your website will look like. And second will be our contact me page that will contain some input fields, that is the name, email, phone number and a submit button. So it's a very good practice if you draw some wireframes before coding or before developing your website. Now, as you can see, the first will be the home page, and in the home page we will start by creating our nav bar. So in the body tag, type nav, that will be the nav bar, and press tab key. It will autofill the contents. Press enter with the proper tab space. First will be your name. So we will write h2, that is the heading tag, and write your name. So I will write my name. You should write yours. After the heading tag in the diagram, you can see we should create 4 links. That is the home, about me, certificates and contact me. A good way to do this will be a unordered list. So I will just show, type UL and press the tab key, press enter, and this is the unordered list. In the unordered list, first type li, that is the first element or the first element in your ordered list. Press the tab key and type home. In the browser, it will show with the bullet point home, right? So there are two type of list. First is the unordered list and second is the ordered list. So if I just simply write OL, that is the ordered list, click save and check in browser, the bullet point will be converted into number. So this is the difference between the unordered list and the ordered list. Hope you understand it. So just delete it. Now here in the list tag, we will use something called as the nested tag. So what is a nested tag? Nested tag are simply a tag within a tag. So we want our home button to be a link that will direct us to somewhere else, right? So in the list tag, we type A and press the tab key and it will automatically generate a anchor tag. Now here between the anchor tag, press or type home, click as save, and in the browser you can see a underline, and if I hover over that underline you can see the cursor change in a pointer, right? So this is the anchor tag. Now how do we redirect our home while clicking on the home tab, right? So in the href, that is the reference or it is a attribute reference. For example, if I type the link of the Google website, save, and if I click on the home tag, it will redirect me to a Google page. Simple, right? So in the href, if we give any website link, it will just redirect us to that website. So for now, we will just put here an hashtag. When we put here a hashtag, when I click on it, just check in this URL. When I click on home page, a hashtag will arrive. Okay. So, as in the wireframe, a home, about me, certificates, and contact me. So, just copy this list tag 3 times and just change the respective syntax. About me, certificates, and contact me. Now, I will build here only the home page and the contact me page. So, we are done with the nav bar, as you can see. After the nav bar, in the wireframe, you can see there is a info session or in which we write what we are and where we are studying and etc. And on the right hand side, there is an image. So we will add a simple about me section and an image in this section. So after the nav bar closing tag, put some space below it and type section and press the tab key. Is the pace okay? Just type yes or no in the chat box. Great. So in this section, we will start by adding a simple heading 3 tag, h3 tag, and we will write here, hello, I am a web developer. Click on save and just check. Hello, I am a web developer. We're alive in your browser. After this, we will add an image on the right side or add image in the browser. So click on, just type img and press the tab key. So two attributes will alive with it, that is the source and the alt. Alt is used to give a brief info about the pic that we are using. So simply type me and the source. Now source attribute is used to give the source file location of your image. So my image in this images folder named as param.jpg. So I will simply write images slash param.jpg. Once I save this file, my image will arrive. And as you can see, this is a lot bigger image than I expected. So we will reduce its height. So just type width 400px. You will understand this in the CSS later. And height 400 pixels. Okay. Now just save and click on the browser. My image is shorter now. Okay. So this is how we created this whole home page. Now we have to create this contact me page. So as I told you about the readable code, right? And the first key point was add proper attributes. So for this nav bar, we will add a ID, that is nav bar. Now ID is a unique identity of that tag. So ID is used to uniquely identify that specific tag. And in this section, we will add ID, that is home, as it is a home page. So it's very important to add attributes properly at right place. After this, add another section and add in this ID. Now we are creating the contact me page. So in this section, add ID equals to contact me or contact me without a space. Wireframe, you can see that there is a heading called the contact me and 3 input fields, name, email and phone number, followed by a submit button. So click on your VS Code. In this section, firstly a heading. So we will use a heading tag contact me, followed by 3 input fields for name, email and phone number. So for input, there is a tag called input itself. Just press input and press the tab key. It contains an attribute called the type. So if you're using a phone number, you should write the type number. If you're using email, so write the type email. So after this type, give a name to this input field. So I will give name as it is the first. And just refresh your browser. You can see an input field has arrived in which I can type anything, right? After this, now you should know which input field is for which purpose, right? So click on placeholder, type your placeholder. This is another attribute of input field, and type your name or enter your name. When I save this file and refresh in the browser, you can see that it shows me enter your name. So it basically tells me what to do. And when I click on it and I type Param, it vanishes. After this, we need 2 more fields. So just copy this or type input. Now the next type is the email. So in the type email, give it a name, email or anything, email underscore 01, anything, whatever you want. And the next will be the placeholder, that will be enter your email. When I save this and refresh, another input field arrive. Now when we use the type, that is the email, it will automatically tell the browser that we compulsory need an @ sign in this. So the type is very important. After this, click on input, the third and the last. Now this type is number. So type here number, give it a name. I will give you a phone number, and the placeholder will be enter your phone number. Save it and refresh the browser. A third input will arrive in which you can only enter number, not text. You can try it. It will not take any input as a text. So these type fields are very important when you declare an input. After the input, we want a button, right? In the wireframe, as you can see, we want a button that will submit this form. So after the input, type here button. Button has its own tag, and you type submit. Just refresh the browser and a submit button will arrive here. Now so we are done with our home page and contact me page, the HTML. One more thing left to add is a button below this hello I am a developer, which will contain a PDF about your resume. So below this h3 tag, simply type button and type in this download CV and give it a source file wherever it is. I will just give you a hash. So create a PDF of your resume, give the source file here, and when you add the download attribute to it, and when you click on this download CV button, here it is, download CV button, it will download your resume. So don't forget to add this download attribute. It's very important, and properly give the source file of your PDF. So that's the skeleton of your body now. Hope you understand it. Are you following along? Just type yes or no in the chat box. Or should I wait for a minute? So we are done with our wireframe and the HTML code. Now Hritvikk.
Yeah, so guys, we are done with the HTML part, and that was very well explained, Param. I believe everyone got to learn HTML basics. Now let's have a Kahoot quiz based on the basics of HTML you all just learned. And remember guys, the winner of the quiz will be rewarded with very useful learning resources for your web development journey. Pari, can we take the quiz now?
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay. Hello everyone and welcome to the Kahoot quiz. Without any further delay, we'll begin the quiz and the winner will be getting some exciting prize. If you can see the game pin on my screen, start entering. You have to log in on www.kahoot.id. I hope that you all are familiar with it. Please enter your official names so that it's easy for us to give out the prizes. I suggest everyone to answer it in less time possible because on the basis of that, you will be assigned the positions. Okay, 75, 76. Great response. Are we good to begin?
No, wait for a minute. I think still they are joining.
Okay. That's a great response. We have 93 people in. Hmm. Are we good? We are going to begin soon, guys. Join fast if anyone's remaining. Okay, I think we should begin by now.
Yes, Pari, go ahead.
So let's get started. Okay, so here's the first question. What does HTML stands for? A. Home tool markup language. B. Hyperlinks and text markup languages. C. Hypertext markup languages. And D. Hyperthreading markup language. And 2, 1, time's up. We have 71 people who have answered it correct. The option is C, hypertext markup languages. Let's see the result. We have Ajay Singh on first position with 973, then GB with 937, Gary, Kinjal, and Abhishek GP on the screen. Here's the second question. What is the correct HTML element for inserting a line break? Option A, line. Option B, line break. Option C, LB. Or option D, BR. The correct answer is option D. We have 64 people who have answered it right. We have Kinjal climbing up with the score 1884, then GV, Gary, Abhishek GP, and LRO. Let's look at the third question. Which character is used to indicate an end tag? Option A, asterisk. Option B, backslash. Option C, opening parenthesis. And option D, closing parenthesis. Okay, so the correct answer is option B, and 32 of them have got it wrong, and 52 of them are right. The scoreboard having Abhishek GP at the first position, then Kinjal, then LRO, then Rijan and Gary. We have up 19 places. Saurabh is the highest climber. Here's the fourth question. How can you make a numbered list? Option A, OL, option B, UL, option C, list, and option D, DL. The correct answer is option A, OL. We have 58 of them answering it right. We have Kinjal on the top, then GV, then Abhishek GP, then LRO and Akansha. 6 players lost their answer streak of 3. Let's head towards the next question. How to use comment in HTML? Option A, asterisk. Option B, backslash. Option C, parenthesis with having an exclamation. And option D, double backslash. The correct answer being option C, 59 of them are having it right. And the scoreboard is having Kinjal on first, then GV, then LRO, then Abhishek GP and Gary. Three players have reached answer streak of 4. What is the correct HTML tag for playing video files? This is quite easy. Option A, video. Option B, media. Option C, play. And option D, movie. The correct answer is option A, that is video, and 50 of them are right. The scoreboard is having Kinjal on top. She is maintaining it. Then Gary, then LRO, then Mitali, and Ashutosh. 5 players have reached answer streak of 3. And here's the second last question. In HTML, which attributes used to specify that input field must be filled out? Option A, validate. Option B, placeholder. Option C, required. And option D, form validate. Time's up. 3, 2, 1. And the correct answer is required. 32 of them have given it right. The scoreboard having Kinjal on the top with 6,455, then LRO, then Gary, then Akansha and Sakshi. Tanmay is back with an answer streak of 3. So guys, the next question is the last question of the quiz. Who is making the web standards? Option A, World Wide Web. Option B, Google. Option C, Microsoft. And option D, Apple. Yeah, this was quite easy. The option is World Wide Web. And we have our placeholders. Third with Akansha. On second, we have Gary. And on first, Kinjal. Congratulations to all 3 of you. You have won the ebooks, UI UX ebooks that is been sponsored by Rosenfeld. I would like to. It would be great if you share your email addresses on Instagram with us. And that's it, guys. Hritvikk, you can carry on.
Thanks, Pari. Great performance, guys, in the quiz, and congratulations to all the winners. Do contact us on Instagram to avail your swags and the prizes. Okay, so now that we have made the basic skeletal of our website, or if we take an example, like consider we are building a car. So you can say we have laid the chassis of our car. Now let's assemble the beautiful parts of our car. That is, let's make our website more attractive, which we'll achieve by adding CSS to it. So now my friend Shreyash will now show you how we'll add CSS in our website.
Am I audible, Hritvikk?
Yes, you are audible.
Thank you. Thank you, Hritvikk. So, hello everyone. I am Shreyash Yewale, Technical Core at Gdsc Mescoe. Now, moving towards the second part of the bootcamp, which is CSS. So guys, have you ever thought how the elements of the website look so attractive, their font, their color, and how well they are aligned on the web page? So the reason behind this is CSS. So what actually is CSS? So CSS is basically used to design a website, or using CSS we can make our website responsive. We can make our website precise for any devices such as mobiles, tablets, and laptops. Okay, so the image on the left hand side of the slide is the one which is coded only in the HTML. So the page looks little messy. All the text is overlapping on one another and many more. Where on the other side, the image on the right hand side, it is coded in both HTML and CSS. So you can spot the difference. The nav bar is so well aligned. The text in the middle is so bold. Its font weight is larger, and all the content is arranged so well in cards. So how does actually the CSS works? So basically CSS is written in a separate file with .css extension. You can also write CSS in same HTML file, but it's not a good practice for programmers to write CSS in same HTML file. So you have to create one CSS file with .css extension. Now this is the HTML file with h1 tag. Now we want to apply CSS to the h1 tag. So as it is a tag, we simply write h1 and give color property to it and write red. So on the right hand side, we get the output, which is the text in the red color. So what is the box model in CSS? So every element that is rendered on a web page, such as buttons, text fields, will follow the CSS box model. So every element will have content, its own content, its padding. So what actually is padding? So it is the inner space of element. So let us take one example. If this is your button, so this padding will be the entire inner space of your button, and this will be the border for your button, and the margin specifies if this is your border, then the space outside your border will be your margin. So every element on the web page will follow this CSS box model. So accordingly, by using this CSS box model, you can align or change the size of your components according to your flexibility. Now, what actually are CSS classes? So if you want to give styling to multiple elements, let's say one entire block. So in these such cases, you create CSS classes. So another concept of CSS classes is IDs, which Param explained. So what's the difference between classes and IDs? So you can create multiple classes with same name, but you cannot create multiple IDs with same name. So if you have written class name for a single block and you want to give styling to it, so simply precede it with this period operator, which is a single dot. And if you want to give styling to this tag, simply write only the tag name. This is li tag, which we coded in HTML to give some list. So we have given the color red. Now next comes the very important part, which is responsiveness using CSS. So whenever you visit some website using desktop, so you will get some view like this. The nav bar, this sidebar will be like this, and the main content will be on the right hand side. Now whenever you view the same website using mobile, you will get the little smaller size. Now how this is achieved? So this is not automatically achieved. We need to code some media queries for this. So CSS provides us media queries. So we need to only specify the width of your device. Let's suppose your desktop width is 1100 pixels and your mobile view is 480 pixels. So you need to simply specify the width in the media query and accordingly align your components. Okay. So without wasting much time, we will directly jump into the code. Okay, so this is the website that Param coded in HTML. So I will start the live server. Okay, so this is what the output we got from the HTML. Now we want to apply some styling to this page. So first of all, we will create one CSS file. So click outside in this bar and create one folder name CSS and click outside. And then in this CSS folder, we will create one CSS file, that is style.css. Keep in mind that the extension must be .css. So we have successfully created the .css file. Now to include this .css file in HTML, we need to include this CSS file in HTML. So simply type link and give your location of your CSS file in href attribute. So I will split my screen. Okay. So on the right hand side is my HTML file and on the left hand side is my CSS file. Okay. So we need to import the CSS file into HTML. So simply give the location. So it is in a CSS folder /style.css and close the link tag. Now how we will come to know that we have successfully imported the CSS file? First of all, we will move on to the style.css file. Then write body. As it is a tag, we will not write any dot or a hash symbol. Simply write body, then curly braces, and give the background color property to it. So always keep in mind that whenever you give color to any element, give it in hexadecimal code, or do not simply write black here. It is not a good practice to write like this whenever you are giving color to some element. So simply write the hexadecimal code. So the hexadecimal code for the color black is #000. Okay, now let's see if it has reflected on the website. Yeah, so our background has changed to black. Okay, so I will cut this. So by default, in our web page, there is a margin of 8 pixels on all the sides. Okay, and padding of 8 pixels. So we do not want that margin and padding on the both sides. So we will simply make margin to 0. And keep in mind, if it is 0, put only 0. Do not put pixels ahead of 0. And padding of 0. Okay, so we have finished working with the body tag. Now let's come to the nav bar section. Okay, so next is our nav bar section. So to give comment in CSS, we simply use /* and we will simply write nav bar section. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to display this name Param on the left hand side of the nav bar and this entire list on the right hand side of the nav bar. So we will write some CSS for this ID nav bar. So can you guess what should I precede, as it is a ID, what should I precede it with the name? So it is hash. So as it is a ID, we should precede it with a hash symbol. So nav bar. Okay. Now we want to display this name and this list in a single row. So there is one property to display it in a single row, that is display flex. So what this property will do is it will display your entire content. So this is our content in the nav bar ID. So it will display this content in a single row. Now we want this list at the right hand side. Okay, so we will write justify content. So what this property will do is it will arrange your contents horizontally on the web page. So justify content, simply write space between. See, we have got some space between this name and this list. So we have successfully arranged our content horizontally. Now, next property we will write is align items to center. So what this property will do is it will center your items vertically. So what justify content do is it will arrange your items horizontally, and align item center will do it will center your items vertically. Okay. Now we want to give some background color to our nav bar. So first of all, we will give background color. So remember to give color always in the hexadecimal code. So background color of black. Okay. So we have given background color of black. Okay. I think black is too dark. We will give some gradient color to our nav bar. Okay. So I will, first of all, I will give some height to our nav bar. So let's say height of 70 pixels and background image. So whenever you give gradient color, remember the property background image and simply type linear gradient. And what we will do is we will display this till this we will display black color, and from towards this we will display it in a white color, little gray color, our nav bar. So simply write to right, and first we want to display in a black color, so simply write black hexadecimal code for the black, and then write for white. So let's see. Yeah, so this till here we are having displaying this using black color, and this is using right. So as we have written to right, so from it will start from here, and our color will go on becoming whitish towards right. So it is, I think this color is too light or too whitish, so I will change it. So simply go here, hover over this color and change the color from here. So I think, yeah, this will be great. Yeah, it's looking cool for the nav bar. Okay. We will also give the width to the nav bar, that is 100%. Okay. So what this property will do is it will stick our nav bar on the left and the hand side, right side. It will not give some space on this both sides. Okay. So we have finished working with this ID. Now next is this name, Param. So what we will do, I will erase this h2 tag and simply wrap this in a div tag. So if you are having, if you are coding in VS Code and having extension emit installed, simply type div dot, and let's say we want to give name to the class nav first. So nav first, and simply press the tab button. So it will auto complete for you, and simply cut this closing div tag and paste it with the h2 tag. So we have wrapped this name param using this div class nav first. Okay. Now as it is a class nav first, we will target it using a period operator. So simply type dot nav first. Okay. So here is our name param. So we want to display it in a white color. So simply type color and white. Okay. Yeah. So the color of the text has changed. Now we want to bring this name here on the little right hand side and increase its font. So simply write font size. Font size, let's say 28 pixels. Yeah, so the font size has increased, but it is sticking to the left hand side. So we will simply write margin left of, let's say 30 pixels. Okay. Yeah, I think 30 pixels is good for this size. Yeah. Now we have finished working with this nav bar class. So this class. Now next comes this UL, that is unordered list component. So this component. So what we want to do is we want to display this list in a row, in a single row. So first of all, we will make one class for this UL in same UL tag. So simply write UL, and we will name the class as menu. So we will write, as it is a class, we will precede it with the dot operator. So menu. Okay. So we want to display it in a single row. So can you guess in the chat box which property from this above will help us to display this list in a single row? Which property will from this above? Can you guess in the chat box? Yeah, yeah, it's correct. It's display flex. Yeah, it has been displayed in a single row, but we need some styling to it. Okay, so we want to remove these bullets from the list, this black color bullets. So simply type list style to none. We do not want any styling for list, so it will remove our bullets from the list. So it has been removed, and this is sticking to the right hand side. So simply we will give margin right of 30 pixels. Okay, yeah, we have got here the margin right of 30 pixels. Now if you want to know how your components are aligned on the web page, so simply go to inspect. So for Windows users, simply tap Ctrl Shift I. Okay, so click on this icon. Now you will come to know that this is our nav id. It is showing your nav id. This is our nav first class, and this is our list anchor tag. It will show like this. Okay, so if you are not getting how the components are aligned, simply go for inspecting the your web page. Okay, so we have completed this UL class. Now we want to modify this text. So if you want to go directly to the anchor tag, you can directly write A, but there may be situation where there may be another anchor tag in your web page. So what we will do is we will go through the menu class. In menu, we have li tag. As it is a tag, we will not precede it with any symbol or hash. So and inside li we have a tag. So simply write a tag. Now what we want to do is we want to increase the font size of this text. So we will increase font size to, let's say, 20 pixels. Okay, it has increased. And give color of white to the text. Okay, always give color in the hexadecimal code. Yeah, so the color has changed to white. Now we want to remove this underline from this text. So simply type text decoration none. Okay, so the underline has been removed, but this home, about, certificates and contact, they are very close. They are almost sticking to each other. So we will simply give padding to it. So padding left of, let's say, 10 pixels, and padding right of 10 pixels. Yeah, so it's looking great. Our nav bar is looking great. So anyone in the chat box can suggest me the color for the nav bar. I think this is a good color for the nav bar. Okay, yeah. Yeah. So instead of specifying padding left and right, we can simply convert these two properties into a single property. So simply write padding, and if we want to specify padding to all the four sides, that is top, right, bottom and left, So first it takes the value for the top side. So from top we want 0 padding, so simply write 0. From right we want 10 pixels, so simply write 10 pixels. From bottom we want 0, and from right side we left side we want 10 pixels. Okay, it should work. Yeah, see, we have got padding from both the sides, left and right, of 10 pixels. Okay, now we have successfully designed our nav bar. Okay, so this was our nav bar. So again we will revise. So this was this id nav bar. We uh, place in display flex, that is we displayed this name and this list in a single row. Then we gave background color of gradient, then align items center and space between, so justify content. So we placed our one content on the left side and the list on the another side. Okay, and width of 100%, so no space remains on the left side and right side. Now nav first we simply gave the white color to it, increase the font size and gave margin left of 30 pixels. Then dot menu, which is the class for the unordered list. We display this list in a row, so we use the property display flex list style none for removing the bullets from the list. Margin right to give some space on the right hand side because it was sticking to the right hand side. Then dot menu li for changing the color of the links because it was in a blue color. As it was written in an anchor tag, it was in a blue color. Okay, now moving on to the next section, which is our home section. Okay, so simply whenever you code, write your code in such a way that whenever you push it on a GitHub or someone clone your repository, it should be readable and understandable for the another person. So simply write your comments. This is the section for the nav bar. Then next comes our home section. Okay, so this is our home section. So what we will do is, for home section, we will display this hello, I am a developer. This okay, I forgot to say that we have made some slight change in this code. This this font avsm icons we have added to make our portfolio little attractive. So just go to W3 schools and import this link, so you can add your font avsm icons in it and simply write whatever icon you want to add, simply write it in a I tag. So this is the icon for LinkedIn, which is here. This is for GitHub and this is for Twitter. So simply we write these icons. Okay. So what we will do is we will display this hello, I am a developer, this social media icons and this download CV button on the left hand side of our web page and this image on the right hand side of our web page. Okay. So let's make a div for that. So simply write div and dot and give the class name. So write home 1 and press tab button. Okay, and close this div tag as we are displaying it on the left hand side, this button also. So wrap this all content in one div tag, and in second div tag we will wrap the image. So home 2. Yeah. So we have two div tags, home 1 and home 2. Okay. So we will write CSS for, let's say, home. Okay, as it is a ID, we will precede it with the hash symbol home. Okay. So first of all, we will give some height to our home section. So let's say height of 100 VH. So what is 100 VH? So it is entire VH is entirely dependent upon the viewport size. What Param explained in this meta tag viewport, this one. So it is dependent on the viewport. What is the size of the viewport will be the given size specified in this VH tag. So we have given 100 VH. So how we will come to know if our size is 100 VH? Simply give background color of black. Okay, yeah, so we have got a background color of black, but we have got some space here on the upper side. Okay, think, okay, see, remove this background color. Have section ID home. Okay, now we want to display this hello, I am a developer, this in one section and this image on the another. First of all, I'll see what is the space on this. Okay, it has a h3 tag. I'll remove that h3 tag. And simply write it in a span tag. So hello, comma, I am a web developer. Okay, yeah, and give the background color of black. Yeah, so there is no space between the nav bar and our home section. So again we want to display this, there is a text in black color, so we will first remove this background color. Okay, so we will able to see this. Okay, so we want to display these items again in a row form. So this section here and this section here. So our favorite property, which is display flex, and we want to justify content space. Now in this case we do not want this image entirely on the right hand side, so there is another property named as space around. So what this property will do is it will keep some space on the left hand side and the right hand side of your content. So simply write space around. Okay, so first of all we will give the white color to this and black color to the background. White color to this font avsm icons and the hello I'm a developer text. So it is in the home class. Okay, so dot home 1, we will give color of white. Yeah, and to the home section we will give the background color of black. Yeah, it's looking great, but we need to increase the font size and bring this text down here. Okay, so we need to work on this home one part. So directly we will give margin of, from top we will give a margin of, let's say, 50 pixels. From right we do not want any margin, so 0 pixels. From top right bottom also we do not want any margin, so 0 pixels. And from left we will take some margin, that is 30 pixels. Okay, yeah, okay, I think we should increase the margin for the top side, so simply write 100 pixels. First of all we will increase the font size and then adjust the margin according to that. So we will make the font size to 28 pixels. Okay, I think this text should be little bold. So to make the text bold, we have one property called as font weight. So we will make our text bold and give it the value in numerical, let's say 400. So what this font weight will do is it will increase the thickness of your font. Okay, I think 400 is little small. Let's give it 600. Yeah.
Shreya, sorry to interrupt, but can you take it a bit slow? Some guys are not able to catch up.
Yeah. Okay. So I will again code this section again, the home section. Okay. So it has a ID. So the home section has a ID. So usually when we write CSS for the ID, we give it with the hash symbol. So home. Then we want some height for our this home section. So we will give the height to our home section. So height of, let's say, 100 VH. So what this VH is, it is entirely related to our viewport, this size. So what will be the size of the viewport will be entirely the size of will entirely dependent on this size. Okay. So we want to display our items in a single row. Means we want to bring this hello I'm a developer, this social media icons, and this download CV button on the left hand side of the page, and this image on the right hand side. So we will simply write display flex. This property we have used 2 times above in the nav bar section and in the menu section. So this will display our items in a single row. Okay. Now we will justify. So what this justify content will do is it will arrange your items horizontally, not vertically. For vertically we have align items center, align items property. So justify content. Now we do not want our this content literally on this left hand side and this image on the right hand side, which we have did on for the nav bar. So we will do space around property. So what this property will do is it will keep the space on the left hand side and on the right hand side of your contents. So there is some space on the left hand side and the right hand side. So we will see using the inspect property. So if you have any doubt, go to this inspect property and see there is some space. The one shown in the purple color, this is the space. So this space is because of the justify content space around property. Now first of all we will make this color to white, this text color to white. So this text is in our home one class. So as it is a class, we will refer it using home one. Okay. Now we want to give it the color of white. So simply type color and write the hexadecimal code for it. So it has become white, but we need to change the background color of home. So background color to black. Okay, so the color has changed to black. Now what we will do is we will increase the font size of this entire section, that is this text and also this font avsm icons. So we will give the property font size, let's say 28 pixels. Yeah, so the size has been increased, but what's the case is we want to bring this text and this button on the center side here. We could also use the property align item center, but there is one problem. So we will simply write we need to use flex for it, so it will not work align item center. So we will give margin of margin. So from top, as we earlier discussed, we require a margin of 100 pixels. Now next is the value for the right side. We do not want any margin from the right hand side. Okay, so I will write 0. If it is 0, there is no requirement to specify pixels ahead of it. So simply write 0, then top right, and then comes the bottom side. So we also do not want any margin from the bottom side. So simply write 0, and from left. From left, we will take, let's say, 30 pixels. Okay. Now this hello I am a developer text is looking very thin. So we will make it little thick. So to make the text thick, we will convert our font weight property to bold or simply give the value of 600 as it was looking great earlier. So this hello, I am a developer. Okay, but we do not want to display this entire content in a single row. We want these icons under this hello, I am a developer, and this button next to these icons. So what we will do is we will create another class for these icons, font avison icons. So simply write div, then press dot. If this is not working in your editor, you should have extension emit installed. So div dot and then write icons and press tab. So what it we will wrap this div, cut it and wrap till this button. Okay, so we will give some styling to our icons. So as it is a class, we are preceding it with the dot operator. So dot icons. Okay, so it has come down because we have created a div for icons. So it has been pushed down. So we will write display flex and move these icons at the center side. I think we should wrap this div above this button so the button also comes down. Yeah, so button also comes down. As previously we were completing our div tag after this button, so the button was also coming in this entire div. So what we did is we wrap this div only for these three sections, three icons. So display flex, and we will justify our content. So we want these icons to be at the center point. So we will simply write justify content. Why justify content? Because justify content will work horizontally on our web page. So justify content center. Yeah, so it has come at the center. So what we want is we want some space between these icons. They are sticking to each other. But if we give padding to directly to this icons class, it will not work. Let's see if it works. So simply I will give padding of let's say 10 pixels from all sides. If we give padding to 10 pixels like this, it will be considers the browser considers it from all the four sides, the padding. Yeah, so we do not see any difference on these icons. So let's inspect again. Okay, so this is our icons class and we are giving padding to it. So this, the green section and this purple section, the space between this purple section and green section is the padding that we got. It is showing above the padding of 10 pixels. So there is no use of giving padding to this icons class. Okay, so what we will do is we will simply write icons and then target this I tag inside that icons. So simply target I and then give padding to this class. So if we want padding, we do not want padding from the top side. So we will write 0 from the top side. From right, we want 10 pixels. From bottom, we want 0. And from left, we want 10 pixels. Okay, so the icons have been separated. Okay, but there is no margin or space between this hello I am a developer and this icons. So we will simply give not here this icons class. So margin top of let's say 20 pixels. Yeah, so the icons have been moved down, but they are little smaller. So we will increase the size of the icons. So let's say font size of uh, it's 28 only. So we will give 32. Yeah. So the font size has also increased. I think this hello I am a developer and this entire section should be little at the downside. So we will increase the top property of the home one section, margin top property. We will make it to 150 pixels. Okay. Yeah, now it's actually at the center, but a little at the top because we have the height of 100 VH. Okay. Now next is our button. Okay, this download CV button. It's looking very simple, this download CV button. So let's apply styling to it. So simply give class to it and write CV button. Okay. So as it is a class, we will precede it with the period symbol. So dot CV dash button and then open the curly braces. Okay. So what we will do is we will bring this button in the center and change the background of the button according to the background of your of our page. So as it is a black, let's see which color will suit our button for the background. So first of all, we will increase the width of our button. So let's make it 100 pixels. Okay. Okay. 100 is too small. Let's make it 200 pixels. Yeah, 200 is great. We will also increase the height of a button. Let's say 40 pixels. Yeah, so it has changed to 40. I think we should make it to 250 pixels. So it will match its height accordingly. Yeah, 250 is great. Now we will change the background color of our button. Okay, so for black background, what do you think? What should be the color of our button for this black background? Think white is not looking that good. So what we will do is, let's see in our color which will look great. Okay, let's take gray, dark gray. I think gray is also not that much suitable. Let's see one more color for it. Okay. Think orange red will look great on the black background. So just copy its hexadecimal code. So its hexadecimal code is hash FF4500. So simply write hash FF4500. Okay. Yeah. First of all, we will change the color, that is the text of the color, to white. So yeah, the text has been changed, but we do not want border for our button. This white border we do not want for our button. So we will simply write border and none. Okay, it's looking great now. But now there is a trend that most of the button are rounded in size. Okay, so to make the button round, simply give border radius of 10 pixels. Yeah, so our button is in round, and we will increase the font size of our text, that is download CV text. So let's make font size to 20 pixels. Okay, 20 is too large. Let's take it 18 pixels. Okay, 18 is fine, but our button is there should be some margin on left and top of our button. So we will convert that both property in one property simply by margin. From top we will take 20 pixels, from right we want 0, from right we want 0 or margin, from bottom we want 0, and as we want our button in center, we will, instead of justifying content, we will simply write 40 pixels from left. Yeah, it is now in center. A button is entirely in the center of this home one section. Okay, now I think we have designed our home one section. It's looking great, the home one section. Okay, and what we will do is we will move on towards this home to section. Okay, so there is, we want to apply only some styling. We do not want to apply any styling. We just want to change the position of this image. So we will simply target dot home to class and give it margin, some margin to it. So from top, we want our image to be displayed little closer to this div, that is in center. So we will take a margin of margin top, let's say 100 pixels. From right, we will take 40 pixels, 0 and 0 from bottom and left. Yeah, so it is in center, but the image size is too small. I think Param has given it in the image tag, the size of the image. Okay, so we will cut this 300 pixels from here. Okay, and simply target our image tag here. So, okay. So dot home to, we will not target dot home to. In home to, we will target the image tag because we want to increase the size of the image. Okay, so dot home to, and then as image is a tag, we will simply write image. We will not precede it with a dot or hash symbol. So image, and increase the width. Previously it was 300 pixels, so we will make it to 400 pixels, and height of 400 pixels. Yeah, so the image is also fine, and the size of the image, but it's little on the downside of our web page. So we will decrease the margin top to, let's say, 80 pixels. Okay. Okay, let's make it to 60 pixels. Yeah, it's fine now. Okay, yeah. So I think we have designed our home section and the nav bar section. This home section and the nav bar section. Okay, now next is our contact me section. So till now, if you have coded all this both nav bar section and home section, simply type yes in the chat box so that I will come to know that I am going on the right track or right speed. Simply type yes in the chat box section, so I will come to know whether I will move to contact me section or again explain this nav bar and home section. Okay. Next. Okay. Okay. Next, moving on towards the contact me section. So simply write in comment here contact me and close the comment with the /. Okay. Now, as we have used your span instead of h3, we will simply write span here and press the tab and then wrap this contact me. Instead of h3, we will wrap it in a span. Okay, so that instead of h3, we will give some styling using css. So section id equals to contact. So as it is a contact, as it is a id, what symbol should we use to apply styling? Can you guess in the chat box? As it is a id equals to contact, so as we precede it with the period operator or a dot for, okay, yeah, hashtag hash symbol. Okay, so hash contact. Okay, so in the contact section here, okay, firstly we should increase its height. We have only contact me, name, email, phone number and submit. So we will take the height a little smaller, let's say 60 VH. As our home section was a little big, we took it 100 VH, but our contact me section is small, yes, so 60 VH. So this is suitable for our contact me section. Okay, and we will simply give some margin as it is sticking to the home section. Margin top of, let's say, 20 pixels. Okay. Now what we want to do in contact section is this contact me, we want to display it here at this center. All the text fields at this next at the center of this page vertically, not horizontally in a single row, vertically. And after the text fields, we want to display the button. So similar, this contact me would be similar to the what is our structure of the form. So we will first target this span tag. So simply write contact, and inside contact we have span tag. Okay. So our favorite property, display flex and justify content center. Okay. Yeah. So the contact me text has come in center, but we should increase its font size. So font size, let's say we will keep it larger, 32px. Okay. So this is little, we should increase the font weight because it is looking too thin. So font weight to, let's say, 400. Okay. So there is no change. Let's say 500. Okay, I am getting no change for font weight. Okay, we will make it 600. Yeah, no, 600 is little too thin. We will keep it 500 only. Okay, so contact me. Now we have finished working with this span tag, applying CSS to this span tag. Now next is our input fields. So we will create one class for our input fields. So dev dot, simply write input fields. Yeah, just reset size. Dev dot input fields and simply press the tab button. Okay. And close this tag after this button. So we should able to display all these entire 4 parts vertically. So then we will target this using the input fields class. As it is a class, we are preceding it with the dot operator. Okay. So our favorite property, display flex, but we do not want all this in an entire row. We want it in a vertical fashion. So there is another property to display this in a column. So simply write flex direction. Now our direction is in a row, so we will convert it into a column. Yeah, so it has been converted into a column, but it has occupied the entire page. Okay. Now we will write align items center. So it will align our items centrally. So we have aligned the items centrally, but these input fields and buttons are sticking to each other. Okay. So first of all, we will take a margin from this contact me and this block. Let's see by inspecting it. So this is our session contact. This is our span tag, and this is input fields. So we want some margin from top for this input fields. So we will simply write margin top of 20 pixels. Yeah, so this input fields tag has come little down. The orange color is showing that we have got margin top of 20 pixels. Okay. Now what if we want to increase the size of our input fields? If we want to increase the width and the height of the input fields, so should I write the width and the height property in this class, or should I go in this input tag? Can you guess in the chat box? If I want to increase the size of this input fields, what should I do? Should I write the width property inside this input fields class, or should I go in this input tag and then increase the size of the input fields? Can you guess in the chat box? Yeah, correct. I should enter the input tag. So input fields and then input tag. Okay, so simply write width of, let's say, 200 pixels. Yeah, I think 200 is little small, so we'll take 250 and also increase the height accordingly. Height of 40 pixels. Yeah, so the size of the text box has been increased, but they are sticking to each other. So simply we will give margin top of let's say 20 pixels. Yeah, so there is a space between all the text box. Should we make our text box rounded or the straight border is looking good? Please say your opinion in the chat box. Should we make our text box in rounded or should it be remain in straight line border? Okay, we will do that later, or we will do right now only. We will make our text box rounded. Okay, so simply give border of border radius of 10 pixels. Okay, they are rounded, but we should change the color of the border. Okay, so simply write border and this 1 pixels, and you want to give the color in this. So if I take white and simply change the color to gray from here. Okay, so it's looking good, but what about this name, email and phone? It's sticking to the left side. This email, phone and name, it's sticking to the left side of the text box. So can you guess in the chat box, should I use the padding property to it, padding left or margin left? I do not want to move the text at the center. I just want to move this name little left on the text box. So should I use padding left or margin left? Which property should I use in this input tag? Padding left or margin left? Yeah, it's padding left. So simply write padding left of 20 pixels. I think 20 pixels is little larger. I will make it 10 pixels. Okay. Yeah, it's fine. It's not that sticking to left side, but there is some space between our name, email and phone. Okay. Now what about this submit button? Okay. I think we should make our code little reusable here. What we will do is we will give same class to this submit button. Instead of writing another CSS for this submit button, what we will do is we will give class of CV button. Okay. So we have submit button here, but I want to change this orange color as it is not looking good on the white background. So simply I will write style attribute here, and I want to change only one property of this CV button, which is background color. So instead of writing entire all these total eight properties and making another class, simply we will write here, we will give same class to this button and simply write style equals to and give background color of, let's say, black. Yeah, so you can also specify this style equals to in HTML file what we discuss in these slides. But if it is helpful, or if it is reducing your lines of code, then only you should use. Otherwise you should write in another CSS file. Yeah, so the submit color has changed, the background color of submit has changed, but it is not in the center because in CV button we are giving margin to left of 40 pixels. So we will simply write margin left to 0. Simply make it to 0. Yeah, so now it is in the center. Okay, so think there is one problem in a web page. When we are scrolling our website down, the nav bar also goes up. It's not sticking at the same position. So if we scroll our website down, the nav bar, we should able to the nav bar should be displayed when we scroll down. Okay, so we will make it sticky, this nav bar. Okay, so hash nav bar, there is one property called as position fixed, and from top we will make 0%, and what it will do is it will also overlap this home section over that nav bar. So we will give margin top of what's the size of our nav bar. It's 70 pixels, height of 70 pixels. So we will give margin top of 70 pixels to it. Okay, so when we scroll down our page, the nav bar is now sticky at its position. It's not moving from its position. So it is easier for the users to change the links. Now, if I click on this contact section, it should move to me contact section, but it's not moving because we have not given the ID in this anchor tag. So simply write what's the name of our ID here. ID equals to contact. So simply write hash contact. So let's see if it moves. So when I click on this contact menu, it will go down to the contact me section. And from here, if I click to the home section, it is going to the home section. Still, we will give the ID of home here. Contact, and from contact, we will go to the home section. Okay. So is our website complete? Can you spam in the chat box? Or do we want to add something in our website? Is something remaining our website? Very important concept is remaining. Okay, I will explain. So simply go to yeah, guessed it right, it's media query. So whenever I move my uh, change the size of the website, I will go to mobile view, and from here I will select, let's say, Galaxy or iPhone 6 is okay. So our contact me section is responsive, but what about this section and navbar section? All the components are overlapping with each other. The image, the text is going on the right hand side and that. So what we will do is we will construct media query for the mobile view. Okay, so simply write media query for mobile view. So at the rate, so you at the rate media screen. So how you specify media query? Simply write at the rate media screen and write, and in this bracket simply specify the width of your device. You can specify the minimum width and maximum width, but here we specify only the max width. Okay, so what's the max width of our device? So simply again inspect it. So it is 375 for iPhone. For Galaxy it is 360. Okay, for Pixel XL it is 411. Okay, so the range is between 300 to 450, let's say. Okay, so simply specify 480 pixels. Yeah, okay. So inside this media query, we will now arrange our components. So what we will do is, okay, let's select iPhone 7. What we will do is we will make this image, take this image down and the content on the upper side. So we will first target the home. home section, home ID, and display flex. And next comes the very important property, which is flex wrap, and we will give the value of wrap. So what this flex wrap will do is it will wrap your components on the screen according to the size of your device. Yeah, so our image has come down because it was not fitting on the right hand side. Automatically it has come down. Okay, but it is overlapping with our contact me section. At this hello I am a developer, its font size is also too large. So what we will do is simply go to dot home one section, this section, this home one section. So there is no need to give margin of 150 pixels on the top. The color, the space in the orange is showing the margin of 150 pixels. So there is no need for it. So what we will do is give margin of, let's say, 30 pixels from top side. From right we will keep it like that only. So simply we will give margin top of 30 pixels. Okay, so it has gone up. Yeah, but I think it's 30 is too small. We should make it 50 pixels. Okay, but the font size is also too large for it. So let's say make the font size of 24 pixels. Okay, so the font size is also less, and it is suitable for our device. Let's see, when we decrease our font size, the image also fitted into its original position, and now the contact me section is also not overlapping with this image. Okay, so we will decrease the width of this download CV button. Okay, so simply write CV button width. Okay, we will make it to 200 pixels. Yeah, so it is matching according to the size of the device. Okay, so now to make this image responsive, we will decrease the size of the image. First of all, we will target the home to section. This home, this is img. Okay, home to, okay, so home to section. So what we will do is give first of all we will go up and check what we have given margin for the home to section. So from top we have given 60 pixels, from right we have given 40 pixels. So we will decrease from top, let's make it 30 pixels, and from right also we do not want, so all 0. Okay, we will make it from all three sides 0, and then decrease the size of the image. So home to, and then we will target the image tag. Okay, simply make it the width. What was earlier it was home to image, it was 400 pixels. So we will make it to 300 pixels, and height of 300 pixels. So we are changing the size of the image. Okay, yeah, it is fitting properly onto our phone, which is, we have selected iPhone 6/7/8. So I think our home section is responsive till now for the image, uh, for this width, that is 375. Let's select for pixel 2. Okay, there is some space between it. Okay, that is okay. Pixel 2. Yeah, what we will do is we will remove this we will remove this, we will make it to 0 margin top. Yeah, so our home section is responsive, our contact me section is also responsive. Now what about this nav bar section? So simply type, yeah, it is a id, so we will target it with the hash symbol. So nav bar, and simply write display flex and then flex wrap. So it will do is wrap your components according to the size of your device. So flex wrap, yeah. So all the menu which we were not able to see, they are now visible to us: home, about, certificates, and contact. So we will just inspect it, yeah. So all the so there is some padding on the left hand side of the ul.menu. Okay, so we will remove that. So simply type menu class, which is here, ul.menu. We have got some padding. By inspect, we have got padding. It's in green color, and it is showing padding of 0, 0, 0 and 40. So last value is of left side. So from left side we are getting padding of 40 pixels. So there is no need of padding on the left hand side. So we will target dot menu class, and from that we padding left. We are getting padding only on the left hand side. From 40 we will make it to 10 pixels. Okay. Yeah, I think there is no need for this padding. It was looking good previously only. Let's see for iPhone 6. Yeah, it's looking great. Our nav bar is also responsive, and our home section is also responsive. Okay, so and this is our website in a desktop view, and this is our website in a mobile view. So it is responsive. So we can also design it for a tablet view, but due to time constraint, we will only design it for only two views, that is desktop view and tablet view. So we have written media query for this. So Hritvikk, is our website fully completed? What do you think?
Shreyash, sure, our website looks great, but it is not completed yet. If we relate with our previous car building example, guys, you can see that our car is ready and looks beautiful, but we haven't added the main engine or the various essential parts in it right now. Can you guess which programming language will help us achieve this on our website? That's totally correct, guys. JavaScript it is. So we'll have to add JavaScript to our website, which we'll do it tomorrow. But before concluding our session for the day, let's have another Kahoot quiz based upon the basics of CSS you all just learned. And my friend Manav will now take the quiz. All the best, developers.
Thank you, Hritvikk. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, so you know the rules and so do I. This is the game and enter it at kahoot.it and let's get started. So we already have participants joining in. The first prize is an ebook about UI and UX. So hurry up if you want to win it. Hritvikk, can you enter the game pin in the chat section?
Yeah, sure, I'll do that.
Fair warning, guys. So this is the CSS Kahoot, and so the options are a bit long. We have given a lot of time for you to answer it, but please look at the options correctly. Listen to the options correctly, and then mark your answers. We have 38 participants, and I request all of you to join with your names so that if you win, we'll be able to contact you. All right, we have 40 participants. Come on, guys, hurry up. The game pin is 1826422. We have 45 participants reaching 50. And you guys inform your friends who have been attending the session to join the Kahoot quiz. And I assure you, it's nothing outside the syllabus. All what Shreyash has got today will be coming. So we'll be starting in 2 minutes. Hurry up, guys. We have 50 participants. Am I clearly audible? Drop a yes or no in the chat section. All right. So those of you who haven't joined with their original names, even if you win, it will be of no use. So we still have a few. We still have some time remaining. So hurry up, change your names and join again. We'll be starting shortly. All right, we have 55 participants, and I think it's high time we start right now. So let's begin. And this is your first question. What is the correct HTML for including CSS file in HTML? In tags style mystyle.css style link rel equal to style sheet href mystyle.css style sheet mystyle.css style sheet or style source equal to mystyle.css. Again, pay attention. You have time to answer it. Look at the options and answer correctly. The correct HTML for including CSS files in HTML. We have 53 answers and 30 seconds to go. So I guess only one answer is remaining out of 55 participants. Ten seconds to go. That one participant who hasn't answered, please go ahead. The options are on my screen. Correct HTML for including a CSS file. 39 of you got this correct. So inside link rel equal to style sheet, href mystyle.css is the correct option. No worries, we have 7 more questions to go and let's move on to the next. Let's look at a scoreboard. So Sanskriti got it right and she's in the lead position, followed by Anuja and Vaibhav. Aditya and Mithali are in the third and fourth position respectively. Don't worry guys, we have 7 more questions to go. Let's look at the next question. Which is the correct syntax for applying CSS to a body tag? Body color equals black, semicolon, in curly brackets, body, semicolon, color equals black, body in brackets, color, colon, black, semicolon, body, colon, color equals black, semicolon. Correct syntax for applying CSS to a body tag. Shreyash has already covered it. 30 seconds to go, 53 answers. "54 answers. Correct syntax for applying CSS to a body tag. How will you access the body tag with CSS? 5 seconds to go. We have 56 answers and time's up. 33 of you got this correct. Body, curly braces, color, colon, black, semicolon. Good going, guys. And those of you who got it wrong, don't worry. We have more questions coming up. All right, so the scoreboard has changed dramatically. Anuja is in the first position, followed by Saurav and Shruti. Rijans and Rahul are in the third and fourth position, respectively. Tushar has moved on to 13 places, so good going, Tushar. Let's look at the next question. So this is the third question. How do you display hyperlinks without an underline? Somebody asked this in the chat also, and there was the answer given over there. So A, underline none, A, decoration, no underline, A, text decoration, no underline, or A, text decoration, none. So this was asked in the chat also. So I think most of you will get this correct. We have 50 answers, 30 seconds to go. How do you display hyperlinks without an underline? We have 50 answers and 25 seconds to go. Displaying hyperlinks without an underline. So I guess this was in the nav bar section. Underline none, text decoration none, decoration no underline, or text decoration no underline. Displaying hyperlinks without an underline. 3 seconds to go. And the time's up. 31 of you got this correct. Wonderful going, guys. So you display hyperlinks without an underline by using the A, text decoration none. So Saurav is in the lead position, followed by Rahul, and Swaraj is in the third position. Rijan's maintaining the third, and Almas has moved on to the fourth position. Snazzy is the highest climber. He has moved up to 11 places, but even if he reaches the first position, we won't be able to identify him. So tough luck, Snazzy. Let's look at the fourth question. How do you select an element with ID demo? 30 seconds. Demo, star demo, hashtag demo, or dot demo. Remember, you're selecting an ID called demo. How do you select the name demo, star demo, hashtag demo, or dot demo? 10 seconds to go. We have 48 answers. 5 seconds to go. And the time's 51 answers. 43 of you got this correct. So we use hash demo for selecting an ID called demo. Good going, guys. 43 of you got this correct. Saurav maintaining the first position, followed by Rahul and Swaraj. Almas moved on to the third position, and Abhishek is in the fifth position. So 3 players just hit the answer streak of 3. Good going, guys. You got 3 questions back to back correct. How do you insert a comment in a CSS file? Single quote, this is a comment, double backslash, this is a comment, double backslash, backslash, this is a comment, or backslash star, this is a comment, star backslash. Inserting a comment in CSS file. So while creating new sections, you are giving comments in CSS file. So how do you insert a comment? 5 seconds to go. We have 50 answers. And the time's up. 43 of you got this correct. So backslash star, this is a comment, star backslash. So Almas has reached the first position, followed by Abhishek and Saurav at the third position. Aditya is in the fourth position, followed by Pranav. So 3 players just dropped their answer streak of 4. Oh, tough luck, guys. But never mind. Here's the 6th question. Which property is used to change the background color? Background color, background dash color, color, PG color. Property used to change the background color. Background color, background dash color, color, or BG color. 47 answers already in, and 10 seconds to change the background color. Property is to change the background color. 3 seconds to 48 and 50 answers, and the times. 40 of you got this correct. So background dash color is the correct answer. So this is how you change the background color. Alma still maintaining the first position, followed by Abhishek and Saurav. Pranav reached the fourth position, followed by Mithali. So 10 players have reached an answer streak of 3. Good going, guys. Good going. So the 7th question. How do you select all P elements inside a div? div p, what p div, hashtag div p, hashtag div, hashtag all the p elements inside a div element. Have 42 answers. Selecting all p elements inside the div. All right, yeah, 50 answers already. 5 seconds. Selecting all p elements inside a div element. Oh, so this, I think this was a little tough because 21 of you got this correct. So div p will select all the div p elements inside div. Let's look at the scoreboard. So again, there's a drastic change. Mithali has reached the first position, followed by Pranav and Masira. Almost moved on to the fourth position, followed by Abhishek. So Rijan's Bhagat is making a comeback with 3 in a row. Wonderful. So the last question of the day. How to give margin to the following sides. Top 10 pixels, left 20 pixels, bottom 30 and right 40. So remember the order, margin 10, 40, 30, 20 or margin 10, 20, 30 or margin 10, 30, 20, 40 or margin 20, 10, 30, 40. So instead of writing different margin top, margin left, how do you write it in a single line while giving the following specifications? You have a lot of time, so please check out the options and answer correct. I guess I gave you a lot of time for this. But give top 10 pixels, left 20 pixels, bottom 30. What is the order in which you give these pixels? 36, 51 answer. 20 seconds to go and still at 51 answers. Come on, guys, hurry up. 10 seconds to go. How to give margin to the following sites. 3 seconds to go and the time's up. So 26 of you got this correct. 10, 40, 30, 20. So this is the order in which you give margin. So let's look at the final leaderboard. The third position, 8 out of 8, is Masira. Great. And the second position is Pranav. And at the first position, and the winner of today's Kahoot is Italy. Wonderful. Guys did it clearly wonderfully. And we have the runner-ups. Abhishek and Rutuja are the runner-ups. So Mitali, Pranav, and Masira, please give your emails in the chat section and your Instagram IDs. If you have any doubts regarding today's bootcamp, please reach us out on this. All right, Hritvikk.
Yeah, great, Manav. Congratulations to all the winners, and do contact us on Instagram so that you can get the credentials for your prizes. Now let's take a quick Q&A section. So if you guys have any doubts in the topics we covered today, you can ask us in the chat box. Also, some of you are guys are asking for the code, right? So the code will be made available to you all, and we'll post it on our Discord channel. I hope you all have joined it. If you haven't joined, we'll give the link to our Discord channel too. So yeah, guys, you can put your doubts in the chat section, and you can even turn on your mics if you want. Are there no doubts, guys? That's nice. Our core team explained you very nicely, it seems. All right, guys. So I believe there are no doubts. Okay, so I hope you all learned a lot of essential things today on the day one of our bootcamp. And do join us tomorrow at the same time, that is 12 p.m., so that you can see how we'll add JavaScript to our website. Also, before concluding the tomorrow's session, we'll tell you the rules of the Web Dev Heist, which is a hackathon organized by Google Gdsc Mescoe. Thank you for joining in, guys, and we hope to see you tomorrow too.